Thank you for staying tuned. This is still the conversation here on Lagos Television, and we are moving into another conversation away from the worship and praise session. A new year often comes with fresh hopes, renewed energy, and bold resolutions. But beyond the excitement, one critical question remains. How do we move from setting resolutions to building strategic plans that truly work? Just before we went on break, we were talking about setting New Year resolutions and all. And joining us on the conversation this morning, we have with us Fola Daniel. He is a youth advocate, an author, and motivational speaker. You're welcome.
My pleasure.
And also Akin Fatunke. He is a managing director and CEO of Chronicler and Associates, and also a communications consultant. You're welcome, sir. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much.
Same to you.
And we are discussing.
Happy New Year.
And our topic.
I'm deep in thought, you know why? I was saying, okay, did I set any resolutions for this year?
Maybe along.
Why do I even need to? Okay. Well, these are questions we'll be asking. I guess.
Our topic is New Year, strategic plans and resolutions. So, just before we went on break and talking about setting New Year resolutions, a lot of people, once it's a new year, they want to set these resolutions, which are goals that one aims to achieve in the new year. But again, I have, in my conversation with some people yesterday, and she said something, one of the people persons that I spoke to, she said people just set unrealistic goals, and that puts a lot of pressure on us when we cannot achieve these goals. So I'd like to hear your view. Now, this question is for both of you on setting New Year resolutions. Let me start with you, Fola Daniel.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Now, one of the things I've taught over the years is that if you are not under pressure, like you said, there are things that you're not going to get right.
Thank you.
Resolutions don't change people. A change of habit does. So it doesn't matter how many resolutions you come up with from time to time. As the calendar changes, if you're not changing your habits, you are not going to make any different, or you're not going to get any different result. I'll give you a quick one, maybe two analogies to buttress my point. Have you ever tried a weight loss program before?
As women, several times.
Most times, why do you think they don't succeed?
Because we just leave it halfway.
But that's not the reason it doesn't succeed.
Why doesn't it?
If the son of Bill Gates walked into this room and says, I'm going to marry you in 4 weeks if you achieve your weight loss program, would you get it done or not?
Well,
I'm not a fan of Bill Gates and his son.
so let me change the name. But just focus on. So let me change the name and focus on the possibilities.
Okay.
Now, when you understand what's likely to happen after 4 weeks, we're talking billions in US dollars. So by the time you picture it, and when I ask these questions in many of my classes on goal setting and stuff like that, the first thing, and these days with the Gen Zs, I hear funny answers. Before, they would say things like, oh, I'm going to get it done, I'll hit the gym and stuff like that. And recently I started hearing things like, what is gastric surgery there for? So people are saying, with the right motivation, I will get it done. So the reason the resolutions are not important enough for you to pursue is because the right motivations aren't there. Let me now give you something that's a bit more extreme. If you have never had to run or you don't see the reason to run, just picture a lion entering the studio. When the lion enters the studio, what are you going to do?
Even a sick person will stand up and run.
Pick the race.
So it tells you that we don't achieve those things because we don't have the right motivation in view. If the right motivation is there, nobody will push you, nobody will chase you, you will get those things done. So I think I will just leave it there for now.
Beautiful perspective you shared. So Akin, let's hear yours.
Well, resolutions are good goals. Perhaps you set for yourself because you felt that your benchmark in your past period has not measured up. But like Fola said, you know, if you don't task it adequately, it might just be a knockout, kangba bam, you know, fizzles away. But my take has always been that set them along the SMART, you know, acronyms. They should eventually, we get into that, be very strategic, unique. You won't be able to measure them even if a lion comes in here, you know. But perhaps you, at the end, we say the lion will be to come in, and then you sit meek, like a Daniel. Some people will
It's
say,
another perspective.
say, pray your way out of it. But prayer has its own limits. There must be things you should be able to action. And so if I set a resolution that I want to be able to improve with my elocution, and I met a Fola young man here, and I see him speak. And I see, and I see joy melt. And I see being prayed, given the kind of laughter she's given. And I attempt that, and people are just looking at me, either because I've not pronounced, you know, my tenses well, my grammar well, and all that kind of thing. It would be foolish on my part. So now then say, I want to kind of achieve perhaps something that he has done.
Correct.
Okay? And then, of course, as I always say, as we say in the language of accounting, it must be time bound. You must be able to say, yes, I want to do it.
Okay.
Within this period of time.
Okay.
What I think makes it tough and difficult is that we overbeat one another or beat ourselves when we can't achieve. So we can't achieve for one reason or the other. Can you explain why you've not been able to achieve it? You've been indisciplined, you've not been able to focus, you've not been able to be strategic. So you fall, and you rise up again, and say, you're not going to fall anymore. So that is the way that I would want to answer that question. There is absolutely, just let me put some emphasis on that. Nothing wrong in failing in your resolution.
Okay.
As long as you can explain them and you don't continue to be an explainer. Explain them, learn from why you didn't make it, and then set that higher targets for yourself. Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about, or I need clarity on unrealistic goals, which she mentioned. And, you know, we've heard from people like Fola who will tell you if your goals, if your dreams are not bigger than you've not set the right one. So how do you draw the line between unrealistic goals and, you know, having big dreams or having big goals or having big resolutions?
Okay, I'll take my subtle jab. But I'll then come from, since I'm seated with an accountant, you know, I did a bit of accounting too before I ran away from accounting. And there's something called balance brought forward in accounting. Meaning that you didn't close the year empty. There was something left from last year or something, like maybe some extra cash that you bring into the new year, and then you continue spending that. That's where the money comes from. So in goals too, I call it balance brought forward or balance brought down. Meaning that you had outstanding goals from last year. And I like the fact that he already emphasized, don't beat yourself too much. But coming back to the clarity on setting goals. I set crazy goals for myself too.
Okay.
And the reason I set crazy goals or goals that are a bit beyond me is to make sure that I don't remain on my present level. The goals are supposed to stretch me, make me a better person. If I don't set goals that are bigger than myself, there will be no need to aspire to do better. There will be no need to want to develop myself because I would already have the capacity to achieve everything I need to achieve.
Okay.
And at that level, that's not just a goal. I'm just going about my daily routine. Now, what happens if you now set those goals that are bigger than you, or how do you manage them? Now, that's where strategy and planning comes in. Let's say, for example, I'll use one of my goals that I set some years back. I said I was going to write 365 articles in a year.
That is one per day.
One article per day.
Okay.
And that was a bit difficult because this was the days of BlackBerry. But because I committed to it, it meant having to type out 1,500 words, sometimes 750 or 1,000 words, using the keyboard of a BlackBerry phone. And I did it. But it was just one article per day. And I kept going until I was able to do it.
And you did it 365?
I did it eventually. It was tough, it was mentally challenging, but it did one thing to me.
Okay, I was going to say, what did it do to you?
I realized that, number one, if I committed to doing something, I could get it done. Number two, I was challenging my mind as I was pushing myself to write.
Okay.
And number three, when I needed to publish more books, I didn't have to sweat it out. I just had to reach into my archives, arrange things into categories, and I had more books to publish.
Okay.
So when we say do crazy goals, do something bigger than you, we're not saying set unrealistic goals. We're simply saying challenge yourself to do more. The capacity is there, but you are not challenging. Take, for example, if a man were to have 6 packs, but at the moment you have just your 1 pack.
Or no pack.
Within the 1 pack, the 6 packs are there. But if you don't go to the gym on a daily basis, you will not get to the point where you achieve the 6 packs. So when we say achieve, set those crazy goals and something like that, it's something that you can do. It's something that is within you. But if you don't put yourself under the pressure, you won't. Again, remember that the flavor of the tea comes from the heat. So if you don't heat up the water, you don't get the flavor.
No pain, no gain.
Oh. Okay, there's cold, there's iced tea. There's iced tea too. Okay. Do we really have to wait till the end of the year for us to set goals, to have the strategic plans, to have these resolutions?
No, I don't think so. Your own beginning of year will be naturally different from me. So if you are in Australia and I'm in Nigeria, and somebody's, like he says, a balance sheet of us, in a leap year, that person might be just one day kind of ahead. I really feel, and seriously speaking now, that when you set resolution is attitudinal. Resolutions are also the capacity to know thyself and to thyself be true. The capacity to be disciplined, to therefore say, look, I'm going to get onto the race track. If Fola has set this type of 6-pack goals for himself, I should not get in there and begin to envy him. I've not practiced as much as him. So can I make him my mentor? Or can I continue to look towards him in ways and means of ensuring I might not be able to do it in 1 year? Because in an attempt to want to do it in 1 year, I'm like, what do you call it? Bye. I think that's what
that's a new word. That's a new slang. Bye.
I'm like, bye. So I will be able to do it
Gradually.
in gradual form, simplistic, broken into the fact that if anybody else is doing it better than me, and we happen to be in a competition for a job or whatever, that person will get in there. So I'm ready to wait and beat my time. I am resolute that some 66 years ago, Taisho Larry, you must have heard about your road be rough and all that. Now, the thought behind that is your road is going to be rough. You are going to stumble and fall. But when you stumble and fall, be able to rise up and take it from there. I won't learn. Basic problems we are having in OECD, OECD included, you know, and low income earning countries like Nigeria. So we set our goals. Force majeure comes into being. Circumstances beyond your capacity comes into being, including life and death comes into being. How will that not die or die with you? Somebody should be able to kind of pick it up. Look at what we have in entertainment industry, both music, Nollywood. Have you noticed? Have you noticed a pattern whereby the breadwinner or the one that you always know died, and suddenly there's a lot of cry here and there, and one of the children, perhaps that was 1 year old or 2 years old, said, "This is exactly what my daddy has done. I'll be able to pick it up.
Turn it around."
I can give you so many examples.
Yeah.
I think, you know, the strategic plan which Fola, you know, was making an allusion to should be for you to say there are certain values that I'm going to keep. I'm not going to go below. If every other person is losing his or her head, there are certain missions, which are the tactics, which are, you know, the scorecards, which are the KPIs that I must try and follow. And if I strive and I'm not able to do it, I am humble enough to say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not able to meet some of these goals. Can I reset? Can I recalibrate? Can I using the president's language in the New Year message that he has said? Yes, I think we have done well, according to him, but we are now going to see how we are going to bring growth to development. You know, that kind of thing. I am going to get married when I'm 25, I'm 26, 27. Realistically, you may not get married until 40. And when you get to 40 and you now marry, like my friend, I hope he's listening to me here, Kayode Kweton, the former managing director of the Industrial Bank. Incidentally, he was in the Industrial Bank before he moved to where he is, and is now a first-class pastor. He will always say, look at me as an example. I am by all means successful, but I had it rough all this while. So if I had set that tough, which is not bad, because your mom will be telling you that's what you should do, or your dad will be telling you that's what you should do, and suddenly you are not able to meet up. If it's going to be at 40, that is where I'm going to now face my young friend. If it's going to be at 50, if it's going to be at 60, and you say to yourself, yes, I don't have this, but even if I am 60 and live up to the 60, I'll do it in such a way and manner that even if a Bill Gates comes in and throws his dollars, I will stand with my shoulders high and say, Bill, I'm not moved by money. I'm moved by values. And what kind of values have you got to tell me here? What exactly is it that you are doing elsewhere? So you're able to stand. I might even be on my knees saying that. But I know that this is solid. Let's make it realistic. Let's make it smart. Let's make it achievable. Don't let it make it to drag. I am not throwing away what Fola is saying here. If my goal is to come here and just lift this one every morning and put it back and all that, we call that a goal? No. But my goal is to be like the richest man and the richest man in Africa, and the richest man in Nigeria at one point in time. A value that he espoused was that he got into a play, and when he got into that play, he was sitting down, and then he saw what you call a man of God, according to what we read. Some people say it's right or wrong. And he said, please, sir, come and take my seat. And in Dahusa of blessed memory, he looked at him and said, what kind of man is this? Blessed shall you be. He picked that up, he began to work on it, and today,
He's blessed.
he's not only blessed, he's blessing others.
Yeah. Riding on, because, beautiful, powerful point you've made now, but riding on what you've said, how important is self-assessment and mindset? Because again, the generation that we find ourselves in, there are a lot of mental breakdowns here and there. You hear them say, oh, I'm traumatized, or once they fail, they can't pick themselves up again.
Mental health.
So with years of experience that you've had, and of course as an accountant, how important is self-assessment, and what is the role of the mindset in achieving goals?
Extremely, very important. In accounting and in communications, you talk about scorecards, red, amber, green. Sometimes you look at it and say, can I continue without wanting to break down? In another form and fashion, this topic is very germane because we were culturally brought up to believe that you must not fail. Oh, you must be a chartered accountant like me.
You must be a doctor.
You must be a medical doctor, must be a professor. Oh, you cannot go and marry or be friends to here and there. But the whole thing, that paradigm has changed. I've seen situations where I sat in class with a lady, and back in those days, we said, no, you can't beat me in class and all that. She beat me silly. Recognizing this psychological phrase that failure cannot be a death sentence. Should not be a death sentence. My son, my daughter, my mentees cannot be a death sentence. I've seen people who have failed. They merely use that failure to be stepping stones, and they are by far better. This Wole Soyinka I should be giving you as an example here. Now, it has to be integrated in a way that our curriculum should bring that to fore. So we should be looking at the mental, if you like, spiritual, the physical. Fola should be able to look at me and say, Akin, you may be driving yourself. Oh, why are your eyes red? He does not live with me, but he's trying to get at something. Maybe I came out of the house and my wife has given me an Anthony Joshua about, kind of, oh, come on. And we can also find a way to say, oh, and I was going to, no, you don't do that. Mental health is so key, and it should start from the infantry. Now, I should also emphasize something, a trend that I am sure you must have seen yourself. It wasn't that way when we were growing up, that in the primary school, the nursery school, parents like Fola now say, my son or my daughter is going in there, she must do a matriculation, and at that young age, she puts all the grades. We have infused them with the wrong thing, and we have set them to fail.
Even the way they said birthday parties.
Now, and this is to all of us, anybody that can understand basic English. It does not matter if Joy as your mom or being paid as your mom is certain that, have you seen what your brother has done? Have you seen what your wife has done? Just listen. Mommy, Daddy, I've heard you. I'm going to go along my pace, and I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to do this, I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to be a Davido, and I'm going to get all the professors, including Professor Fola here, under my payroll. I mean, you look at it and you look at him and say, whatever. Or is it when fella was in trade school and eventually, even after his death, be recognized as the first hero to be given the award that has been given? My point is, we all have different stations in life. We should be able to develop differently, but our educational curriculum should take care of the fact that you should be able to speak English, you should be able to do some arithmetic, you should be able to sing a little bit, you should be able to handle the computer. You should also be able to handle the psychoanalytical aspect of your mental health. And say to yourself, I am not going to follow the Joneses. I am going to set my own path. You may, like Slake and Nala, get to 99. I go along my path steadily, decidedly. I might even cut the tape before you.
Okay. Fola, I want you to, I want you to come in here, but I want to find out the role of parents, mentors. If setting goals, resolutions is a personal thing, no matter how old, no matter how young you are, do these people I mentioned earlier, parents and mentors, do they really have a say, or do they have a role? Or what are their responsibilities for what they stand for?
Okay, so I think that parents absolutely have a role to play, depending on the age bracket we're also looking at. And let me quickly mention the fact, I like the fact that he mentioned Tai Sholari. By the way, I went to Mayflower.
Did you go to Mayflower?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a proud product of Tai Sholari.
Okay.
And not
does the school
just
still exist?
It does.
Oh, okay.
Very much. And we're turning 70 in a few days.
Oh, wow.
Very.
So I was also, at some point, the senior prefect in Mayflower School, when the school was over 4,000 students. Why am I saying this? I didn't want to go to Mayflower School after I got in and I saw what the system looked like because of the reference he alluded to on mental health. I called my father after about a week and said, I'm done, I'm not doing this, I'm going out and stuff like that. And then he drove to the school. When he heard all the tantrums I threw out, I was crying that, look, come get me out of here. So when he came, characteristic of my father, he just looked around and said, look at you, you're crying. You don't want to be in this school anymore. You see those girls? Very soon when you start toasting them, they will just mock you and say, we knew when you were crying, I don't want to be in this school. Now you're coming to toast us. And I'm like, what's the correlation?
I was going to ask that. Why would you?
I want to be out of here.
Me with the opposite sex?
That's how my father responded. He said, very soon you start toasting them and they will say, look at you, we knew when you were crying that you don't want to be in this school again. Bottom line, he was trying to get me to stay in the system. But you see, 6 years down the line, when I became the senior prefect, I could only thank him for not yielding to my request of taking me out of the school. Because if he had, there's no way I would have become the senior prefect in the same school. Now, talking about failure, I failed in that same school. I repeated the class.
And you were still senior prefect?
The first ever to become the senior prefect after failing.
Wow.
The first ever to not emerge from a science class. But that was after repeating a class. That was also after my dad said, I'm not getting you out of the system. You're going to stay, you're going to finish it. So I was forged in one of the strongest places where you can forge young people.
Okay.
So parents have a role to play in sometimes standing their ground to say, I'm not going to take you out of the system quickly. Okay. Because if I take you out of the system quickly, initially it would appear as if I'm helping you, but I'm not doing you a favor. Just like if you interrupt the process of a larva becoming a butterfly, it would appear as if you're making it easy. But what you have done is that you have killed a life. You know, we also say that if life, take a look at the egg. If it breaks from within, a new life begins. But if you breaks from outside, you end the life. But most times when parents don't carefully manage this situation, you break life from outside, you break it externally, and you end certain things. So because we suffered, and we don't want our children to go through what we went through, we sometimes give them, we throw everything at them. We throw money at them, throw tablets at them, the iPad, everything. We throw it at them. Why? I don't want them to go through what I went through. But you see, because you don't want them to go through what you went through, what you're doing is we're raising lily-livered children. We're raising children who can even sit still for 2 hours. We're raising children who can even read a book in a corner. I did what we call extensive reading in those days. And what's the concept of extensive reading? You sit with a book, read through the book, and pick new words. You go to your dictionary, find out what it meant, and you come back and write new sentences with new words that you... But these days, everybody gives you a tablet, and then you go to ChatGPT to make it easy for yourself. So parents have a role to play in not... How do I put it now? Don't put them under excessive pressure, but make sure you guide them through goals. At a very young age, get your children to read 1 book during the holiday. Get them to read 2 books, age-appropriate books. After a while, use the house chores to set goals for them. That's where it starts.
So how does that work?
If you, for example, if you can finish this today, that means you're done with your goals for the day.
Okay.
Take, for example, clean 2 rooms today. That's your goal for the whole day. Or, this is my library. Rearrange it for the day. Or rearrange this section for today. Sometimes you compensate them, sometimes you don't, so that they don't become entitled. My father would sometimes ask me to sweep an entire area, and for sweeping it exceptionally well, I was entitled to... How many of you remember Gold Spots?
Yes, that orange-looking drink. Yes.
I was entitled to 1 bottle. Sometimes I got nothing. Oh, well done. That's it. But at other times, oh, you did well. What do you want? Is it Gold Spot or is it the other one? And then, so there are times you reward them for doing the task. Sometimes you don't, because you're also trying to curb entitlement. But you see, at a little age, I understood the value of doing something part-time, and that helped me to hit my goal. So yes, parents actually have a role to play, and you model it for them. You don't just tell them what to do, you also model it for them. They see you doing things. I had a father who drove a Volkswagen for 17 years, not because he couldn't change his car, but because he had a goal, and he said, until I do this, I'm not changing this car. And I saw that it was until after he did it, he didn't change his car. Okay, so he modeled something very important.
Still talking about building a solid foundation for our children, how important are words of affirmation for our children?
Words of affirmation are very powerful. You can destroy anybody with words, and you can pull up anybody with words. I remember the story of a young lady who wanted to hear something very important from her father. She knew she was good, and every other person said it. But the person that mattered the most was her father, and her father never said it. And that broke her. So at home, I'm also grateful for one very important thing, and it's the fact that in our own home, when we were growing up, nobody ever called us crazy, stupid, mad, Olori Buruku, and all those stuff. You know, nobody ever said that to us. But beyond not saying those kind of words, it's important to tell people you're good. That was solid. You're beautiful. I say to young girls, or I try to tell people, especially if you have young girls, you better start telling your girls they are beautiful. You're wonderful.
From a very young age.
From a young age.
Yes,
because if you don't,
confidence.
One funny boy will say it outside, and it will mean so much to them.
My dad is watching now.
Because
he's always watching. and I know he used to say it a lot. You know, we were 4 girls. Unfortunately, we lost one. And he used to say it a lot, that his girls are the most beautiful.
Because if you don't say it at home, somebody will say it outside.
The most beautiful.
And it will mean more when they hear it outside. So, and there was a story of another girl. A gentleman met a lady that he was wooing, and for the very first time visited them. And when he got to their house and saw the love, the atmosphere, the aura in their home, he then understood where the woman was coming from and why saying I love you to the girl doesn't mean much, because she grew up hearing it a lot. Okay. So you need to come to terms with the fact that how you affirm your children, no matter what they achieve, in fact, they may be living double lives. There's the life that looks like a celebrity to other people. There's also the life that is battling identity crisis because their father, their mother never said to them, that was good, well done,
well done.
Thank you. Don't, even as parents, sometimes our children do something and I still say, oh, thank you. My children bring me stuff and I say, thank you. Most of us didn't grow up that way, but you can't continue that way. So affirmation is very, very important for the self-esteem of the young people that we are raising. It doesn't mean that those of us who didn't get it don't have self-esteem. We found our way around it. But to make it easier for the younger generation, let's affirm them.
Okay. We're still talking about the new year, strategic plans and resolutions. I hear a lot, when people say, or I hear when people say this a lot. Yeah, that's better. I hear when people say this a lot that, okay, if plan A doesn't work, go to plan B. How important is that?
Absolutely important. Because plan A will not always work. And for your information, plan B might equally not work.
So there should be a C, D, E?
So
Make room.
You should be quite fecund in your choices for knowledge, in your choices for values, recognizing what your innate talents are. Even if you have been goaded to go the other way around, if it's going to be in football, you're going to be a Modupe or Shikoya. By the way, during my day, you will look at people like that, Mary Oyali. You will not going to get, for the to Bukoya, you will not be able to get in there. But stay put. Yes, it will be on track and field, but it will turn to be football. There is the introduction of the word integrated, in communications integrated, in accounting integrated, in broadcasting integrated.
Integrated, yeah.
It has to be integrated because this is the way you've been taught. Now we are in the age of social media. We are in the age of AI. You have to be able to adapt, either to improve your main line or to now open additional vista that will not only bring you money and bring you a lot of contentment. When my Fola was speaking, it touched a bit of a nerve. He in Mayflower, me, his senior.
Oh.
When I say senior, I'm not talking about senior in age.
Senior.
I'm talking about senior in the school I attended.
In the same school?
No.
Okay.
It's called Baptist Academy.
Oh, okay. That's where my house is. Yeah, Obanikoro.
Where we just celebrated 170 years. But I tell you what, beyond the ego, we of Baptist Academy have always admired the kind of upbringing that was introduced by the late Taisholari, of which I've seen a product here. If I use, I was talking about Kayode Ekpeton, Nigerian Industrial Development Bank. He shepherds one of the top redeemed churches now. Let me go to your area. In this field of communications, there is also one of my classmates, his name is Tony Akiotu. He finished at AIT. Tony will not mind, and I will say this, I wish he's here. Back in the day, we had an English teacher. I would say, Tony, her name is, we call her alias Kala, Miss Veraton. This Ogudipe book, we have got to find a way to read it. Tony shaking, this same Tony, that you know is one of the best communicators that this country has produced.
Yes, one of the very good presenters.
In a form of, he will turn the book upside down.
Oh God.
If you turn the book upside down, we'll be able to read anything. Tony became not just one of the best that you can find, but of course, res ipso facto. Another one, have you heard of this name? Also my classmates in the primary school, because you asked that question. That what is the role of parents? What is the role of mentors?
Mentors also.
And you know, we ended up with affirmation, positive. And my friend used the example of, you are a beautiful girl. So to our guys too, you are a fantastic guy, you know. You got to learn how to do housework and all that kind of stuff. But you know, out at the back, his name is Collins Akpabunam. Collins Akpabunam is one of the best that you find in cinematography all over the world. I remember that day when we got into government demonstration school, a public school. I remember internally, as a 5-year-old, you know, you get to school, they will ask you to do something like that and all that. I was cursing in my mind. Can I call this parent? Why should you bring me to a place where I will see a teacher with a cane? Then I saw Collins. And Collins just started with a throttle. Hey, I don't want to go to school. I want. He shouted and shouted. I still make jest of him. Ask us today, like Fola. The best thing at that point in time, you know, his example of egg lava before you get into a butterfly.
Yeah.
Parents have a role. The role of parents also now will end at a particular point in time. When your parents will now tell you, don't marry Fola because it's dark in complexion. When Fola has all the love packs, or is from this religion and all that, you'll be able to now find a way to now then say, let me find a balance with kind of education that Tai Sholari, you know, instituted. Education, the curriculum, the peer review, the mental acuity, and the fact that you have fallen and you have failed. Repeat, falling and failed is not what you call a death sentence. Awolowo fell so many times, but today put him vis-a-vis people who have either ruled this country or ruled the continent is still on. Abraham Lincoln is just another example. We as parents must know that we have our role. We must guide. If the parents of Collins, I mean that was internally saying my own because I know that he could, I mean the knock I will get at home. If they didn't pull him through, and if that teacher that I mentioned to you, she's in fact, her son is son of a high court judge, so he too will be listening to what I'm saying here. If he didn't insist, or if we can't keep on saying, I'm not from a good home, I'm a broken home, and all that, go ask Bakari, the cleric. Through his mouth, he made it that, look, my friends and every other person they are well to do, but my mother was carrying a heavy load. I better turn my eyes to the other side until something struck in him. And he said, Mama! And since that day, everybody started respecting him. What I'm therefore putting across is, look, there should not be one...
Not one size fit all.
There should not be one curriculum fit all. Tai Sholari came and changed the paradigm in this country. Fela Anikulapo Kuti had a son called his first son, attended Raps Academy at one point in time before he go to Igbobi. And
Femi.
you know, yes, Femi was. And then of course, you know, anytime you hear about Fela, you know, and Fela and Femi was going to be disciplined. I've said it so many times. And Femi said that you want to discipline the son of Fela. Fela followed him in his Benz, got to school like your dad did, and then saw our principal, the late J.A. Dr. J. Adigbite. All of us students, we all lined up that today is today. You know, these teachers that are always beating us, they are going to pull them down. And when fella came in, and everybody was saying about 70. The whole school was chorusing. The what we would do for our teachers and for ourselves. We are waiting. Fella got out of his Benz. I said, Femi, just hang on. Went in to see the principal. The principal mentioned some of the things that Femi did. Fella came out, raised his hand. Baba 70, we said that today we are going to get our freedom. Nobody's going to beat us in school. You know what Fella did? Fella said, Mr. Principal, please can you look for one of your teachers that knows how to cane very well? Maybe I'm saying it in front of her. And of course, let me say something. Femi, if you invite him, perhaps he will tell you that a lot of some of the things that we hear here and there, he went through the tutelage, he went through the discipline, and it's exactly what he is after his dad. So there has to be a place for not sparing the rod, the affirmation, but also not just pull them out there and feel that maybe I'm a bit conservative, that you must apply that carrot and stick. If you like, take a stick metaphorically or literally, you must also let our Gen Zs know that, hey, wait a minute, there is absolutely nothing that you are going through that we didn't go through. We even think you even have better. I will use my head to do mental calculations. Can you do it now? No, I can't. I have computer. Sometimes you put it down. Sometimes you go into public transport. They are all part of the kind of training. Because I'm not being paid looking at me. I want my child to be in the UK. I want my child to be in the UK and all that. He or she is going to get in there, will not have you behind him, and might look back and say, I was not taken through this furnace of fire. God help us, God help us. Same with our leaders at all levels, in organizations. We must learn to have the humility to say, we have failed. Don't go there and be saying that, during my time, I don't know about Fola, I don't know about being queer joy. You know,
there are different generations.
It doesn't.
Different generations.
You know what parents say? When I was in school, I was the best in class.
The best. Yeah.
I was the number
one class.
My dad said it a lot, and he was truly the best in class.
Daddy, mommy. Until one day, this dad that always says this, so we had the impression that he was near God or whatever it is. And then he was going to the toilet one day, and then we heard something poo at his back, and we all started laughing. He gave us knock. I said, Dad, we thought maybe you don't do that. You're Mr.
We
Perfect. Must show the reality. We must set tough goals. I agree, because it is only the toughest that will be the leader that will lead you. Know that. Then make it achievable in such a way and manner, and make it timely. You're going to write so many books, why not? You're going to sing so many songs, why not? But be disciplined about it, which is the basic lack that we have all over the world as we speak.
We're running out of time.
May the Lord God help us.
Amen. And also, Aki, 2024, 2025, especially 2025 was a tough year. And, we were all praying for 2026 to come so we can heave a sigh of relief. 2026 is here now, but, we're still not sure. And I like the fact that he has taken it out of the home. He has taken it to our leaders. And we're still talking about planning. He's still talking about strategic goals. How do we plan, in an uncommon economic and social condition?
Okay, I would say don't outsource your responsibility for growth and desired results. Sometimes, many of us outsource our personal responsibility for the results that we desire.
I'd
What do
like
I
you to
mean
break
by-
that down.
Yes, what do I mean by we outsource our responsibilities?
Okay.
People expect that it's the government in power that will trigger their prosperity. So, where government is doing this, government is doing that. The people speaking for the government say, this is what the government is doing. And somebody else says, but the people on the street are still hungry. Look, every country in the world has hungry people. Every country in the world has homeless people.
Are you talking as Fola or as a speaker?
So the point I'm coming to
Okay.
is to actually establish one fact.
Okay.
The Yorubas have a saying that if you pound yam and the shells of a granite, I'm sorry I'm altering proverbs in the presence
No,
of
it's
elders.
fine. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, okay. We're being traditional.
You know, when you pound yam in the shells of a granite and put the soup on leaves, the ones who will be satisfied will be satisfied. But the reason for that satisfaction is, first of all, contentment and personal responsibility. So I'm saying this, as individuals, your success in any year is not about the government in power, is not about what it's not about the name or the acronym for the year. It's about what you do differently. If you don't do anything differently in 2026 that you did in 2025 and 2024, 2026 will be a much tougher year. If you're not taking more responsibility in 2026, it's going to be a tougher year compared to 2025. Now, when our parents were growing up, they would say, wow, things were really tough. And I wish those who told us that things were tough are alive to see what it is
Right
today.
now.
It's tougher.
The people who told us things were tough bought gas. At least when I started driving, I'm still very young. When I started driving, I bought fuel into my car at 65 naira per liter. But today, you know how much you're selling for. So my full tank today, for those who said things were tough, the price of my full tank today would buy at least 2 or 3 brand new cars in their days.
Sure. Sure.
So who has it tougher technically? I have it tougher. So it's to tell you that if you compare things with some years ago, it's not going to get better. But people are still making money. Some people couldn't travel abroad when the price of the ticket was less than 1,000 naira. But today they are going abroad as if they are going to the market.
With millions.
Some people couldn't build a house when it cost only 3,000 naira to buy a plot of land. But today they are building the houses. Are they building it because it's getting better, or building it because they are taking responsibility? It comes to taking responsibility. So why the year is going to be better is not going to be because maybe some people are waiting for when dollar will fall, or when things will get better, when the president will get it right and everything. No. You don't wait for that. It's your personal responsibility.
So when you plan,
When you plan and take personal responsibility. And one thing I would like to quickly say again is the budget for this year is almost $60 trillion, 60 trillion naira. Expenditure is 38 trillion naira. Now, many people don't understand what that means. It means that the government wants to spend 38 trillion naira this year. And the question I like to ask is, how much of the 38 trillion that the government intends to spend are you going to plug into? Because whether you like it or not, it's just budget for 1 year, and they must spend that money. It's been allocated. It will be appropriated. When it is appropriated, spending begins. How much of that are you going to plug into? The money is going to be spent at federal government level, at state level, at local level.
Okay.
But what are you going to be doing that will cause the government to give you a chunk of that money? So be intentional, be strategic. The opportunities will be there. Just, prefer solutions, offer value. If you weren't offering value before, start offering that value, and you realize that people are willing to pay you when you start offering value. So if you're not doing anything different this year, don't expect a better year.
so you can still plan.
You can, yes,
Plan by
and
taking
not just
responsibility.
plan. Exactly.
By taking responsibility. Aki, would you like to talk about
I would like to talk about it, and I would like to be very practical.
Okay.
I know what is out there in the street. I have an idea of why you are asking that question. And Fola and I cannot also pretend that we do not see. 2024 2024 was not, we were struggling. Eh?
We struggled.
All right. 2023, did we not struggle? We struggled. Since 1960, we've also been struggling. So if you have been a struggler, why do you now think you will not
continue to struggle
in 2026? What
Okay.
is offered? Great perspective from the personal level. But please, let's speak to those who say they lead us. They have to lead and not rule. They have to bring in the deficits that we have by way of trust. Fola, you mentioned it, the budget. In fact, they even have prioritized and said that as far as security is number one, infrastructure is number two, health is number three. Will you hear that and you say somebody is not saying something? Somebody is saying something, but they have always been saying it all this while. What has been lacking has been the discipline and the capacity, the character, the competence, the capacity, and the consensus to realize that we are all different and we are all lying to ourselves, and that's the truth. Nigeria is lying to itself, but we are trying to cobble it together right from the heydays. We should therefore de-emphasize and lead by example. So if I'm going to be a leader, I should not be talking about my wife and my children, struggling around the space. It will not make every other person happy. If I am going to be a leader, I am not saying I'm going to starve my wife and starve my children. But if I see, as I've seen now, for that place, I hope I will not be embarrassing you. I met you for the very first time. But the quality of your elocution as a young man makes me proud. And so if something crops up today, I will not say because I am whatever it is. You are the one that should go in there and go and do it. Why? Because I can put my legs like that. Fola will go and dance well, and I will be smiling. The truth of the matter is, 2026 is not like a Taisholari. It is going to be tough and rough. It is. Don't let us. In 2024. In 2023, subsidy gone. Whatever it is, they are suffering. They are crying.
More first.
But the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is saying we have to go through, like Fola went through, the furnace of fire. But he's doing that. We want to see him do it by personal example that we are going to be proud of. And like I said, when we set goals, it's not that he will not fail. It's not that his prescription will not. It's not that someone will come out now and say, yes, I'm City of Excellence. I have never failed. Governor Sanwo-Olu should not. No governor should be able to say that. But I have listened. I have heard. These are the priorities I think I want for myself. Some people will say, the priorities should be go and ask the people. Go to ask the people, they will say, give me food. Colin Sakwabna will say, I don't want to go to school. But leadership is the ability to take people to a place they should be, but they don't want to go. So you can only do that by personal example. See what Awolowo did. Working with their faith to Ekiti, and they said you want to take, I don't know if you are from Ekiti State here now, and that, go to Baramatu, send his own children to public schools. And that is the truth. So that leading by example is very key and important. And if we don't support democratically our leaders and look for excuses that we are hungry, like he said, that we are angry and that we should torpedo things, and somebody has made didn't speak the correct grammar, and you say because of that we should throw away the baby with the bathwater, it's not going to help us. We must understand that in 2026, despite all the rhetorics, I'm not going to lie to myself, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not going to lie to Nigerians. The road is still going to be very rough. But let us key in appropriately, do the things that we need to do. Let us come in unity. And if, whatever reason, we are not able to, we and Joy cannot speak the same language and all that kind of stuff. So let her go her part, I go my part, and then we decide what we are going to put in the center. God help the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
We are one Nigeria. My producer, can I take one more question? No. Yes? Okay. It seems the new year comes with a lot of pressure. I'd like you to, just leave a word of advice for Nigerians now. That, it's a new year. It doesn't mean that, everything has to happen at the same time.
So the responsibility that we were talking about that you have to take for yourself is, number one, stop trying to impress anybody.
Okay.
Don't live your life to impress anybody.
Okay.
A number of times we're under pressure because we're trying to impress other people, and you don't have the resources to show up at the level where they are showing off.
Exactly.
And just like somebody said, some people are spending their capital to impress those who are spending their profits. Now, if you're spending your capital to impress those who are spending their profits, you should know that it is what is left that these guys are spending, but it is what you should be investing that you're spending. And nothing is as real as you see it on social media. So if you don't ever come to your senses that you should not impress people, the issue of peer pressure has always been there. And because peer pressure has always been there, whether for young people and for adults, people will always want. Some people live in VI and they can't afford it, but they live there because of some people. Some people live in some other places, Ikoyi, Lekki, all different kinds of places. And I'm not saying it's bad to live anywhere in any part of Lagos. But the more important thing is, are you living there because you can afford it? And they justify, they give all kinds of excuses and they justify them. But be true to yourself, like you've heard. Can you actually afford to live? Can you afford the cars that you drive? Do you need the number of cars that you're driving? Why do you need 3, 4, 5 cars if you cannot afford to?
We have to go.
Yeah, so, be true to yourself. Don't try to impress anybody, and it's going to be a better year for you.
Be true to yourself, and it is going to be a better year for all of us. Now, as we step into a new year, the real challenge isn't about making resolutions, it's about making intentional decisions and taking responsibility. It's been an interesting conversation with Akin Fatunke, MDCO, Chronicler, Associate Communications Consultant, and Fola Daniel, Youth Advocate, author, motivational speaker, and elocutionist.
Yeah, you needed to add that.
I needed to add that.
If my coach was alive, he would have called me right after the show. That's Richie Dyer Johnson.
And he so rest in peace.
Told me, Fola, I listened to your show. You butchered this word. So I've got to be careful.
But that makes you better.
It makes me better. And by the way, I studied mass communication, so
Fantastic. Thank you for staying with us here. We had a swell time. I hope you also did. And when we invite you some other time, we hope to have you here.
You brought me out on the first, so
maybe we've started on a good note. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Joy?
Yeah, that will be all for today. As Abimbola would say, that's our offering for today. You join us again.
Your offering?
That is our offering on the conversation for today.
You didn't add tithes to it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time on the conversation.
Welcome.
Join us again tomorrow at 10 a.m. I am Joy Olu.
And I am Adibimpe Omotayo. I'll see you again tomorrow, God willing.